The situation in Burkina Faso under the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traoré has reached a critical juncture, with the young military leader facing unprecedented threats of assassination. This development marks a significant moment in African politics, as it is rare for an African leader to openly challenge Western powers and limit their influence on the continent. Traoré's bold stance against Western interference has placed him in direct opposition to the interests of these powers, leading to a tense geopolitical standoff. His actions have not only disrupted the traditional dynamics of neocolonialism, but have also set a new precedent for African leaders seeking to assert their independence. The West, accustomed to maintaining control over African nations through economic and political leverage, has been caught off guard by Traoré's defiance, making his leadership a focal point of global attention. Captain Ibrahim Traoré's rise to power in 2022 marked a turning point in Burkina Faso's relationship with the West, particularly France. Since assuming leadership, Traoré has implemented a series of measures aimed at reducing French influence in the country. These actions include expelling the French ambassador, suspending long-standing military and economic agreements, and limiting the spread of French media propaganda. Traoré's approach reflects a broader sentiment among the Burkinabe people, who have grown increasingly disillusioned with France's neocolonial practices. Many citizens view France's presence as a hindrance to Burkina Faso's development, accusing it of exploiting the country's resources and interfering in its internal affairs. Traoré's determination to sever ties with France and pursue alternative partnerships has resonated deeply with the population, solidifying his position as a leader committed to national sovereignty. One of the key factors driving Traoré's anti-Western stance is the failure of Western-backed solutions to address Burkina Faso's pressing challenges, such as terrorism and poverty. Over the years, Western interventions in the region have been criticized for being ineffective and, in some cases, exacerbating existing problems. This disillusionment has fueled a desire for alternative approaches, leading Traoré to seek closer ties with non-Western powers like Russia. By aligning with Russia, Traoré aims to secure the military and economic support necessary to combat terrorism and revitalize Burkina Faso's struggling economy. This shift in foreign policy represents a significant departure from the country's traditional alliances and underscores Traoré's commitment to charting an independent course for Burkina Faso. Traoré's alignment with Russia has been met with both enthusiasm and skepticism. On one hand, Russia's willingness to provide military equipment and economic assistance has bolstered Burkina Faso's counter-terrorism capabilities and provided a much-needed lifeline for its economy. On the other hand, this partnership has raised concerns about the potential consequences of aligning with a global power known for its assertive foreign policy. Critics argue that Traoré's reliance on Russia could lead to a new form of dependency, undermining the very sovereignty he seeks to protect. However, Traoré has been careful to balance his alliances, ensuring that Burkina Faso retains a degree of autonomy in its decision-making. His ability to navigate these complex geopolitical dynamics has earned him praise as a shrewd and strategic leader. In addition to forging closer ties with Russia, Traoré has taken the unprecedented step of restoring diplomatic relations with North Korea. This move has further solidified his reputation as a leader unafraid to challenge Western hegemony. The relationship between Burkina Faso and North Korea dates back to the 1980s, when the two countries established close ties under the leadership of Thomas Sankara, a Marxist revolutionary who sought to align Burkina Faso with socialist principles. Although these ties were severed in 2017 under pressure from Western powers, Traoré's decision to re-establish diplomatic relations with North Korea signals a bold rejection of Western influence. By doing so, he has not only strengthened Burkina Faso's position on the global stage, but also sent a clear message to the West that African nations are no longer willing to be dictated to. Traoré's defiance of Western powers has not gone unnoticed. and his leadership has sparked intense speculation about the future of Africa's geopolitical landscape. Some analysts believe that Burkina Faso's alignment with Russia and North Korea could serve as a model for other African nations disillusioned with Western interventionism. If successful, Traoré's approach could trigger a domino effect, leading to a broader realignment of African countries away from traditional Western allies and toward alternative partnerships. This shift could have far-reaching implications for the balance of power in the region, potentially diminishing Western influence and reshaping the global order. The proposed creation of a confederation involving Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger represents another bold initiative by Traoré to challenge the status quo. This confederation, which aims to achieve greater economic and political integration, could serve as a precursor to a larger Pan-African Union. By uniting these countries under a shared vision of self-reliance and regional cooperation, Traoré hopes to create a powerful bloc capable of addressing common challenges and asserting Africa's independence on the global stage. This ambitious plan reflects Traoré's commitment to Pan-Africanism and his belief in the potential of African nations to shape their own destiny. Traoré's leadership has also been characterized by his willingness to confront Western powers openly. In a series of public statements, he has criticized the West for its hypocrisy and double standards, accusing it of exploiting African nations while claiming to promote democracy and human rights. Traoré's rhetoric has struck a chord with many Africans who feel that their continent has long been marginalized and exploited by external powers. By challenging the West's moral authority, Traoré has positioned himself as a champion of African sovereignty and a vocal advocate for a more equitable global order. Despite the risks associated with his confrontational approach, Traoré has managed to maintain his position and avoid the fate of other revolutionary leaders who have been targeted by Western powers. His ability to do so can be attributed in part to his strategic alliances with powerful leaders like Vladimir Putin of Russia and Kim Jong-un of North Korea. These alliances serve as a deterrent against potential assassination attempts, as any harm to Traoré could provoke a strong response from his allies. The fear of escalating tensions with Russia and North Korea has likely discouraged Western powers from taking extreme measures against Traoré, allowing him to continue his efforts to reshape Burkina Faso's future. Traoré's leadership has also been marked by a focus on addressing the root causes of Burkina Faso's challenges, including poverty, inequality, and terrorism. By prioritizing these issues, he has sought to build a more stable and prosperous society capable of withstanding external pressures. His efforts to diversify Burkina Faso's economy and strengthen its institutions have laid the groundwork for long-term development, reducing the country's reliance on foreign aid and investment. This focus on self-reliance has further endeared him to the Burkinabe people, who see him as a leader genuinely committed to their well-being. President Ibrahim Traoré's leadership represents a significant departure from the traditional dynamics of African politics. His bold stance against Western powers, strategic alliances with non-Western nations, and commitment to Pan-Africanism have positioned him as a transformative figure in the region. While his approach carries risks, it also offers the potential for greater independence and self-determination for Burkina Faso and other African nations. As Traoré continues to navigate the complex geopolitical landscape, his leadership will undoubtedly remain a subject of intense scrutiny and debate. Whether he succeeds in achieving his vision of a more independent and united Africa remains to be seen, but his efforts have already left an indelible mark on the continent's history. President Ibrahim Traoré's strategic moves have sparked global debate. Supporters, particularly across Africa, praise his defiance of Western neocolonialism and his push for sovereignty, seeing him as a symbol of Pan-Africanism and self-determination. Russia and its allies view his alignment as a geopolitical win, expanding their influence in Africa. Conversely, Western nations express concern, labeling his actions as destabilizing and a threat to their interests. Critics warn of potential over-reliance on Russia and North Korea, fearing new dependencies. Overall, Traoré's bold stance is seen as a pivotal shift in Africa's geopolitical landscape, challenging traditional power dynamics and inspiring both admiration and apprehension worldwide.